Welcome back to Instables. It looks like Bitcoin stocks have been on quite the run this last week, so I'm going to go over exactly what has to happen for BTBT, CAN, EBON, SOS to have a continuation on that run that we have been seeing recently, and exactly where you guys can find these breakout alerts so you guys do not miss out on them again. And all I ask in return is you guys smash that like button and hit subscribe if you want to see more chart updates on potential breakouts that we mentioned throughout the week. So let's jump into this one. So the first one of all the Bitcoin stocks that I want to go over with you guys here is BTBT. I want to make sure we do cover BTBT because BTBT has been on quite the run. We mentioned them very early. We had a continuation breakout throughout the last week and a half, breaking all the way up to that $19 mark, looking to see if we can continue. Now, it looks like we are testing this $19 mark. We did mention this as a very key resistance previously, and we're going to be looking to see if we can hold over 1908 going into this week. If we can hold over $19, in my opinion, then we could have a continuation, and we do need to make sure we do have that confirmation. Again, we did mention this volume alert that we did set. As you guys can see here, we did have our breakout with this volume, and we have been decreasing in volume overall, but we have been slightly increasing as Bitcoin has been on quite the run recently, so we could have a continuation. But BTBT has been extremely reactionary to all of Bitcoin's movement, so I definitely would be careful as this one has been on quite the run, and technically this one has a major resistance and does need to cool down based on the chart, of course. So again, holding over 19 would give us that bullish momentum to have that continuation, but if we do not hold over 19 and we do not get the volume that we're looking for, then we could have a possible cool down and possibly retest this resistance that we did have previously and possibly move up from there. We're going to look to see if we can get this volume. If we cannot get this volume to hold over $19 going into this week, and Bitcoin does not hold over 43,000, which again, we did go over Bitcoin yesterday. If you guys want to see Bitcoin's chart update so you guys can see exactly what might happen there. But as you guys can see, we're going to be looking to see if we can hold over 43,000 here with Bitcoin to possibly have that continuation as well. We're going to see exactly how reactionary BTBT does react this week, as we have been on quite the run and are a little overextended based on volume and based on the chart. As you guys can see, as usually when stocks move this quick, we usually do have somewhat of a cool down at very key resistances and have usually a bounce off of the next resistance that we have seen previously to have a possible continuation. But again, we will be having that volume alert set, so that way if we do get any bullish momentum on BTBT to have a major continuation, then we will have that alert set. So the next one I want to go over with you guys here is FTFT, and I want to go over FTFT because they have been the second most reactionary. We had a major breakout up about 45% on the day. We're going to see if we can continue here. I'm going to back up to the 15-minute with you guys here so you guys can see what we're looking at very closely. So as you guys can see here, we did have a very key resistance here around $2.85, and we broke above it. We had a continuation, and it looks like we did not break above our $3.30 mark resistance that we do need to break above. As you guys can see, we're coming down to test the 20 MA one more time to possibly have another move up. If Bitcoin again does hover 43,000 and break over 44,000, then we could have more momentum if FTFT does react how it has been. But as you guys can see, towards the end of the day on Friday, we did have a lot of sell volume coming in. So we're going to see if we can continue on up with buy volume. So I would be setting a volume alert right above this point here. So that way, if we do break above with volume, then we would have more momentum. But again, at this point, I would be waiting for this one to test that 20 MA. Look to see if we can bounce off of it. Look to see if we can get the 20 MA to curl back up and possibly test this 330 mark, break above it, and then break over 370. Again, 330 and 370, I'm going to show you guys exactly why that's very important. But as you guys can see here on the MACD, we also do have an increase in buy pressure, showing us that we have white shaded lines, showing us a decrease in buy pressure, showing us that we may have a continuation sell-off. But overall, again, we are very bullish as we do have the EMA line still above the MACD, and the 20 MA still is above the 50 MA, showing us a lot of momentum. And as you guys can see, these very resistances are very key because here on the 4 hours, you guys can see here, we have very key resistances here on the VPVR that we need to break above. If we can break over 330 and hold above it, and then break over 370, as we did have our major gap down and continuation sell-off at that point, then we could have a major continuation with FTFT. But again, at this point, I would be waiting for more momentum in my opinion, and we may not get that volume confirmation on the 5-minute until we do pass that 370 mark. So again, FTFT is still definitely on the watch, but again, I want to make sure we do have strong momentum, especially if I was going to be swinging this one, then I definitely would want more momentum in this stock, and especially again with Bitcoin holding over 43,000 and breaking over 44,000 to give us more momentum in all of these Bitcoin stocks. Now, the next one I'm going to go over with you guys here is SOS, and I want to go over SOS because they have been the third most reactionary to Bitcoin. As you guys can see here, we have been on quite the consolidated play recently. We may have a major move up with SOS if we can get a lot of momentum with Bitcoin, again, breaking over 43,000 and then breaking over 44,000 to give us more momentum in these Bitcoin stocks. But as you guys can see, we have the 20-day moving average holding below the 50-day moving average still on the 4 hour, looking to see if we can cross above the 50-day moving average to get that strong momentum that we're looking for. And as you guys can see here, back on the 5-minute, we have been on quite the run testing the 20 MA, looking to see if we can get the 20-day moving average here to curl up with the 50-day moving average below it bit. And these candles bouncing off of the 20 MA would be very key for us. Again, this is a very key point for us here in the VPVR, showing us that we do need to hold this $3 mark going into next week. If we cannot hold over $3 with volume, in my opinion, then we could have a continuation sell-off like we have been previously. But again, overall, SOS has a lot of momentum to be watching out for, as Bitcoin has been testing 43,000 at this point in time and testing 44,000 this morning. We're going to see if we can break over 44,000 to get that continuation and strong move up for all of these Bitcoin stocks. But again, this is not financial advice. This is only my opinion, and this is only what I'll be playing into and what I'll be watching. Now, the next one I'm going to go over with you guys here is CAN, and I want to go over CAN because CAN has been on quite the run as well. As you guys can see here on the 5-minute, we have been on quite the run. We have a very key support that we do want to hold here at $9. If we can hold $9 going into next week, then we could have an easy move up. But as you guys can see here, we do have a lot of consolidation. We're going to see if we can continue. I'm going to back up to the 4 hours so you guys can see which key resistances we do need to break above to have that major continuation. As you guys can see here, we do have a very key resistance here on the volume profile to see if we can break over $10. And then breaking over $13 would be very key for us. As you guys can see, we did mention this one previously. And then our major breakout continuation would be to break above our previous gap down that we did have and our previous rejections that we did have. And as you guys can see, we're trying to break above this 1927 mark to have that key breakout point, in my opinion. But again, going to this week, we do have the 20-day moving average on the 4 hour holding above the 50-day moving average at this point in time. And if we do have a continuation with that and we can break over $10, then we could have a possible major breakout like we did see on BTBT. So I definitely would keep CAN on the watch for that continuation, see if we can hold over $10 and see if we can get that momentum with the 20-day moving average holding above the 50. And again, with volume, in my opinion, as you guys can see, we have been overall decreasing in volume. We have a little bit of buy volume recently. We're looking to see if we can continue with this volume to break over this $10 mark. In my opinion, breaking above all of these buy volume points would be exactly that volume alert I would be setting. So as you guys can see here, you go up to the top left here on TradingView, you click these 3 dotted lines here, and then you click add alert. And as you guys can see, we could just grab that alert, put it right above our previous volume points, and then if it does break above it, then we will be alerted, so that way we don't miss out on this one. But again, CAN definitely on the watch to hold over $10, and again, Bitcoin holding over 43,000 and breaking over 44,000 is very key for us to have that continuation. Now, the next one I want to go over with you guys here is NXTD. Now, I want to talk about NXTD because they're very volatile, and they have been on quite the run when Bitcoin does have major spikes. But as you guys can see, we do have major spikes. We come back down pretty harshly. So we're going to see if we can continue here with another major spike. Again, on the 4 hour, I'm going to back up here so you guys can see what we're looking at overall. You guys can see the 20-day moving average starting to curl up here again as Bitcoin has been hitting 42,000, 43,000. We're going to see if we can break over 44,000 on Bitcoin again to get NXTD to possibly get this momentum. We need the 20-day moving average, of course, to break above the 50-day moving average like we have been mentioning. But we also do want more volume confirmation. As you guys can see, we have our previous volume point on the spike, and we do have large wicks, which is amazing for potential runners. So I definitely will keep NXTD on the watch for possibly a major move going into this week like we did see on FTFT yesterday. But as you guys can see here, we do need to make sure we do have those strong moves up to have that continuation. If we do not have that strong move up, then we could have a possible continuation sell-off. But however, as you guys can see here on the buy pressure, we don't have a lot of buy pressure. We don't have a lot of sell pressure. That's why this one has been consolidating overall. And overall, we do have the EMA lines holding below the MACD, showing us that we are more bearish than bullish here on NXTD. But however, again, NXTD definitely on the watch. NXTD likes to make major spikes when we have major spikes in Bitcoin. And if these EMA lines can cross above the MACD and we can get that volume to break above our previous volume point, again, setting that volume alert right above our previous volume point, so that way we can be notified for this major breakout if NXTD does have another major spike. So again, NXTD definitely on the watch for that continuation. Again, if you guys see here on our previous volume point, if we had set that alert, then we would have caught this breakout that we did have also. So again, that is exactly why we want to set our volume alerts, to make sure we can get that confirmation, to make sure we do get notified, so that way we can make a quick move on this one. But again, this is not financial advice. This is only what I would be doing for each one of these stocks in. So again, if you guys want to see our Bitcoin stock or penny stock breakouts throughout the day, go to instabulls.com in the description below, and you guys will never miss a Bitcoin stock or penny stock breakout alert throughout the day again. And if you guys want to see Bitcoin's chart update, go on our video yesterday. We did post exactly which levels we need to break above to have that continuation. Again, that would be helping all of these Bitcoin stocks to have that continuation as well. And also, everybody that has been supporting the channel and everybody that has been in the comment section, I appreciate every one of you guys as always. Much love to you guys. And if you guys do like this video, it does help other people find it, and it does help the channel grow. And I do appreciate it very much. And again, God bless you all, and I'll see you guys in the next video.